So 25% of total energy demands. Still, that doesn't really put it in a context because we don't know really overall how much energy that is. So I went on to the cost comparison. The total load, that 1.352 kilowatt hours, actually only cost us 16 cents for that week. I was doing this on a weekly basis. And the passive load only cost 5.5 cents for that whole week. So leaving all those things plugged in whenever I'm not using them cost us 5.5 cents. So then I extrapolated that over a year if I just left all those chargers plugged in for a whole year, and found out that it'll cost me a whopping $2.86 if I leave those plugged in for the whole year whenever I'm not using them. So that was interesting. So I looked at the average electricity bill for September, October, and November and calculated the weekly bill based on that. And the total percentage from these appliances' passive load of our energy bill was 0.64% for the week. And you could say, yeah, that's a 0.5%. That's 1 in 200. That's kind of high. But we're actually heated by gas here in this house, and most of the appliances we use in terms of lamps. Oh, never mind about that. Sorry. Back to this. So I didn't find that to be as huge as I would think it would be based on my earlier conceptions. So cost savings, to reiterate, is $2.86. To me, that doesn't seem like significant energy savings. If we extrapolate it over the entire U.S., that would be...
Mr. 305, checking in for the remix. And this one here is going to be called Gaiocho.
Gaiocho. Okay, so we're back online. I'm sorry about that technical issue. Apparently I've been rambling. Anyway, the point is that the only amount of money I would save is $2.86 as a result of unplugging those chargers over the course of a year. And I was saying that, well, I guess if the entire U.S. did it, we'd save over $600 million. Because we have 300 million people in the U.S. However, I don't think this is the best way necessarily of saving energy, and something that isn't taken into account in my study is that wear and tear that's actually placed on chargers and computers by plugging and unplugging them. I've definitely broken a charger, and I've broken a cell phone, and I ruined my power dock on my old computer plugging and unplugging it. And I'm looking at my Mac now, and I'm a little worried because I'm seeing that it's not quite even where the dock comes in. It's been rubbed from being yanked out kind of violently. So that's something to take into account, because computers are expensive and energy sucking too to build them, and when the power portion of it goes out, I was told with my old computer to trash it. Interestingly, okay. So elsewhere in the household to save energy. Well, U.S. household energy use, when we actually look at this diagram closer, computers and electronics, according to the U.S. Department of Energy, are only 9% of total energy usage within a household. In my house, I know that our heating, our space heating is a big portion. In Alaska, space cooling isn't as much of an issue. But we have water heating, lighting. So all of that portion, space heating, space cooling, water heating, and lighting, take up 66% of U.S. household energy use. Computers and electronics is 9, appliances is 8, and refrigeration is actually 8%, which is pretty wild. So when I look at myself and what I can do to improve, I won't wear my chargers out about unplugging them as much. And some more effective options for energy saving is perhaps getting a new fridge and freezer. Ours came with the house. They're from the 1970s. And those are pretty bad, I found out from when I was researching energy efficiency. If refrigeration is 8% of most U.S. households, I have to imagine ours is pretty bad. Improving insulation in our house. We are in Alaska, and there's several rooms in here that are very drafty and even require extra space heaters, which I'm sure is an energy drain. Hang drying clothes rather than putting them in the dryer. That uses a lot of energy. And turning our lights off more in the winter. When you leave a room and it's all cozy and lit up, flick those off, because that's 11% of U.S. household energy use, and probably more for Alaska in the winter though less in the summer, so maybe it evens out. So this is my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And this is Fiona Worcester signing out.